Sonic needs no introduction these days, as he's in multiple games across many platforms. But is the original any good? It's fair to say there's been some crap Sonic games made since 1991, but there's also been a lot of good ones. We've been spoiled by the likes of Sonic Mania, so do games like that make the original game less attractive? You immediately get your head blown off with the Sega logo being shouted at you. Sega! If you've ever forgot to lower the volume on the TV, then you'll be a victim of this jump scare. When Sonic pops up on the screen in a huge banner and scrolling background, you know this isn't going to be a shit game. Press start and you're immediately sent straight into Act 1. Here you are hit with bold colours and stunning scenery. Okay, it's not Tomb Raider or Uncharted stunning, but this is all we had, okay? You play as Sonic the Hedgehog. The title gives that away. A blue hedgehog with supersonic speed. Well, that's what we're told, but he's just quick. On the screen in the top left is your score. Time elapsed, which is a limit of 10 minutes. Reach that and you're a dead hog. And below that are the amount of rings you have collected. Collecting rings has its benefits. Collect one or more rings and you can get hit once by an enemy, but you'll lose all you have accumulated. Get hit with no rings and you lose a life. When you do get hit, you have the opportunity to run and collect the rings that bounce off the screen. Collect 100 rings and you gain a life. Your lives are displayed in the lower left of the screen. Collect 50 rings and you'll go to the bonus stage, and I'll come back to that. The levels have multiple paths to run along and all have badniks to hit or avoid. These are the robotic creatures that roam the levels. The majority are easy to kill. You can jump, which makes Sonic curl into a ball whilst in the air. Here you can hit the enemies and free the animals trapped inside. Sonic can also roll along the ground to kill an enemy or bash through weak walls. Aside from the badniks, there are monitors scattered across the levels. These all have advantages. There's an extra life which has Sonic's head displayed in the monitor. Speed shoes which make Sonic run at high speed for a short time. The blue shield which surrounds Sonic in a blue orb, allowing him one hit before he loses it. Invincibility stars. Sonic will be invulnerable for a short period of time until the music stops playing, and the ring icon which will add 10 rings to your total. Throughout the levels you'll come across lampposts that when touched will turn the ball from blue to red, signalling this is where you'll return should you lose a life. There's a lot of traps to look out for too, and they are mainly spikes and pits. One of the game's biggest flaws is the infamous spike bug, that when you hit a set of spikes and bounce back and hit the spikes again, you immediately die. Here I hit the spikes and went down a pit, but you get the idea. Springs are dotted about the levels and not all of them are helpful. Some may send you flying in the opposite direction, which may result in a collision with an enemy or worse. The yellow springs will bounce Sonic a short height, whereas the red springs will send Sonic to a great height, enabling him to reach higher places. When you complete a stage, you'll run past a signpost that will spin and stop with Sonic's face on, and a tune will play to let you know you've finished. If you have collected 50 or more rings, then you can jump into a giant ring just past the finish post. This will take you to the bonus stage, where you'll be in a rotating maze. These have exit points marked with a goal that you'll need to avoid, but just to make it a little bit more difficult, there are art icons around the edge of the maze, which will change the rotation direction, and up or down icons which will change the rotation speed. Watch out for the bumpers too, these can bounce you straight into the goal. Once you've got to the area where the emerald is located, then you need to touch the diamonds to make them change colour and eventually disappear. If you're successful, then you can take the Chaos Emerald. There are 6 to find and each bonus area gets more tricky to get through. There are 6 levels in total to get through, and each level has 3 acts. You start off in Green Hill Zone, where you can get a feel for the character. You can run fast and learn to control Sonic around many hazards. The next level is Marble Zone, where the difficulty ramps up here as there are many hazards that can catch you out. There's flaming paths, lava pools, spikes on chains, as well as badniks such as bats and caterpillars, which you can't jump on unless you catch the heads correctly. Tread with caution, this level isn't for speed. Level 3 is a spring yard zone, where you'll be slowed down to a crawl waiting for platforms to move, so you can. It's a bit of a mess but not too difficult. Watch out for the spiky back crab crawlers. You can only roll through these. Then it's the worst stage in the game, and that's the Labyrinth Zone. Here you'll spend most of your time underwater. Your speed is reduced to a walk, but you'll still have badniks to deal with. And these drill-nosed bastards will make sure you don't get to keep your rings. Spikes are a big problem in this level, and the badniks have rotating spike balls, which will slowly fire towards you, are a royal pain in the ass, as you have to wait before you can attack. This wouldn't normally be a problem, but when you have limited air, you need to act fast before you run out. Air can be found frequently in the levels, just look for the small patch of bubbles on the floor. Eventually a large bubble will appear, and you can walk or jump into them to take a breath. Starlight Zone is more relaxed and you can gain some more speed in this level. However, there are a few bottomless pits dotted about. Your biggest enemy here are the bombs. When you go near them, their fuse will light, and when they pop, they will fire out 4 projectiles. These can catch you out when you're near the edge of a platform. Finally, it's Scrap Brain Zone, where there are more hazards than ever. There's fire and electric, as well as trapdoors and bottomless pits. A lot of lives will be lost here if you're not cautious. When you get past Scrap Brain, it's time to defeat Robotnik. This is possibly the easiest boss to defeat, as you only really have to avoid the energy balls that are fired. Simply jump through the largest gap and wait on the far right for the pistons to move. When Robotnik is in the closest one, just jump and hit it. It's definitely a long way of doing it, but when you have no rings in this battle, you don't want to be guessing which pistons will come up. Once you beat him, you just need to hit his ship and it's over. If you've collected all the Chaos Emeralds, then the final scene will alter slightly, and I mean slightly. So if you're not bothered about a few sprites extra, then don't bother going for the emeralds. The graphics are spectacular, especially for its age. There's a lot of colour and detail and the sprites look really good. There's plenty of parallax scrolling to add more depth to the levels. The difficulty is average, it's definitely not an easy game to get through. There's plenty of tough parts to get through, but you can learn from your mistakes.
The bosses can be hard to defeat, and it's made even harder when you have to hit Robotnik 8 times. This doesn't sound hard, but it involves waiting around for a long time, and if you have no rings to keep you alive, then palms can get extremely sweaty. You can over time learn the patterns, which makes them easier to defeat the more you play it.
The sound effects are nice and clear and the music is brilliant. It's a soundtrack that you'll always remember. But is it worth getting? Chances are you already own several ports of this, but yes, it's a game that doesn't get old. For a first title, it's amazing, and the sequel's improved on what was already brilliant. If you haven't got this for some odd reason, then it doesn't cost that much as it was sold in its thousands, but it can be found on most compilations for modern consoles.